The Ghana Health Service announced that there was a need to pull it down after a report indicated that the 5-story facility had developed gaping cracks, and so it was not fit for purpose and needed to be pulled down to make way for the construction of an ultra-modern facility. Now, flooding was also another major reason why there was a need to reconstruct the La General Hospital, and we're told that it was supposed to be constructed to the standards of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and of course to meet the foreign standards as well. And so, sometime March 2020, it was pulled down. And then in August 2020, the president came here and cut sword for the construction of this facility. It was supposed to be a 160-bed facility at a tune of 68 million euros. And this was a credit facility from Standard Chartered Bank in the UK. And if it was completed, it would have a surgical unit with 4 wards, a neonatal department, children's ward, a labor department, and a number of other facilities, an ultra-modern OPD and the like, to serve these community members. It's been a year and 8 months and we've not seen much. At least I see a little bit of construction at the back there, which community members have told us, they were informed would start in January this year. And so that's what we're seeing there. But they're not even sure what exactly is happening. Now, the health minister did speak on June 2, 2021, and he explained why there was a delay in the construction. He said that the constructors, who are Chinese, by the way, is a Chinese company, said they needed some insurance cover, and that had delayed due to the guarantor's delay, of course. But aside that, they also wanted some more work to be done on the ground before construction. This is a 10-key project, and that basically means that the constructor is, responsible for design all the way to construction and, making sure that it is fit for purpose, and then they'll hand over to the Ghanaian government. Nothing really is happening, and so we've come here to speak to community members to find out what really this does to them. There's a young man here, and he will speak to us first before we even speak to more community members who are already complaining that their businesses have been destroyed and they have to travel farther down the road to access healthcare, and that's a big problem for them. Hello, good morning. Happy New Year. Please come closer. Thank you so much for speaking to us. What's your name?
I'm Lawrence Agbeshi.
Lawrence, you live in this community?
I live in this community, yeah.
Okay. Now tell me, because it's been a year and 8 months since this building was pulled down. We were told it would be ready in 24 months when the president cut sword. Nothing has happened.
Yeah, nothing has happened. And due to that, people have to go a long way to police hospital or LECMA to attend healthcare. And due to that, people lost their life because first the hospital was here. So when something happened, people were able to come here. Yeah. This hospital used to save people around those Sulabadi, Teshin, and Co. But now people have to go a long way to attend to healthcare. And it's very difficult. And due to that, it's very difficult for people to attend the healthcare.
Have you been given reasons why this has delayed? Because I remember that, again, when the government officials came, they promised that it would be ready in about 24 months.
Normally, they only tell us they'll do it, but we have waited, but nothing is going on. All the time, you see people coming to the site and going. People come and go.
There's some men there, though. I mean, we were told, and of course, one of the grandmothers that we'll be speaking to, and she's been here since the 60s, and so she gave us a bit of history. We'll speak to her again so she can enlighten you on that. But she said they mentioned to her and a few other committee members that work will start in January this year, which is why maybe there are those men on the field.
Yeah, okay. So we are waiting.
You're waiting.
Yeah.
Well, how has this impacted your life? Did you used to do business in this community at all?
I used to do business, but normally this is where we attend hospital. So used to that, we are like, we find difficult. We have to take a car a long way to attend hospital, and it's very difficult for us. So we want the government to do something about it. They should build it quick so that we can have access to healthcare. Okay. Yeah.
And there are people who used to run businesses here. They used to sell, water, food for all the people who used to come here. I don't see them anymore, clearly, because there's no hospital to serve the people. But how are they also finding this?
So I would like you to talk to them. So that
Okay. Let's go speak to... We'll speak to some of the traders shortly. I have a gentleman here that I would like to speak to shortly before we move on. Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Your name, please?
My name is Ni Akohusna.
Okay.
Yeah.
You live in this community?
I live here.
Just down the road, I believe?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how do you also feel about the fact that, we're told this hospital will be up and running in 24 months? And so ideally, if the president cut short in August, by August, we should have seen the completion of this project, and nothing has happened.
Actually, we miss the actual structure here. It's an edifice that all of us talks about. When you talk about La, we have a general hospital. First, it was a polyclinic. Yeah. It came to be a general hospital, was everything is here. That everybody, so many people were born here, actually, and people come from subordinates, I think from Teshin, Nungwa, Tema, and wherever, mostly comes here. It's actually a disappointment to some of us because we were told it's going to be constructed within the 12 solid months, and that is all we know, and we passed 12 months. So actually, people are suffering. Honestly speaking, you ask yourself, if you live within this community, and maybe at dawn there's something happening, where are you going? You see, it has put pressure on Police Hospital 37 and the Ridge. You see, we have moved this place to a very small place in town, because they don't work 24 hours. Actually,
they don't work 24 hours in the community?
They don't work 24 hours. Wow. And actually, when you get there later in the evening, you miss nobody. Wow. Okay, so what is happening there is too bad. And to the extent that people, when you ask them, you are sending them to that place, they will tell you no, they would rather stay home.
Where is this place, by the way?
It's in a town called La Mansamokwe Yard. You see, it was a yard which is a radio station, okay? And they are using part of it to do a clinic. Wow. You can imagine what is happening there. You understand? So sometimes when people are talking, it comes to be like you want to chastise the government, but actually we have to be citizens, not spectators. That's the reason why some of us mostly talk about this, honestly speaking, because you have to think about yourself, your family, and friends and sympathizers who live around our community. Sometimes when this happens, it becomes an issue that we keep on complaining, but you cannot complain. Where are you going to complain? Unless we have people like you who are in media, who mostly will send our message across board. We beg, honestly speaking, it is our own. Okay, you see, our former president of the United States of America, Obama, donates here, and an edifice was built here. Okay, we could have used that particular structure. How many years now? In the Mason, we have a mortuary here. Where is it now? You understand? The pressure putting on people here is too bad, honestly.
So you think that they should have maintained some of the buildings that were not too dilapidated and pulled down the 5-story structure? Because that one, we're told there were cracks in it, so it was not fit for purpose, and it could have collapsed at any point in time, which is why they pulled it down.
Yeah. When you live in the house with your parents, okay, and you have cracks in the house, and your parents collapse the whole place, ask you to go nowhere, what will you do as a kid in the house? Okay, we are frustrated, honestly speaking, because those structures can be used. Even the morgue can be used. You understand? There are so many, the OPD can be used.
But how do you know all those can be used? Because again, it was a report from the Ghana Health Service, and maybe they found it wise to pull down the entire structure on the land and reconstruct.
I don't know whether you mean the Ghana Health Service. Okay, are they engineers? You see, when I was told maybe AMC, maybe consultants came in here and just look at the place and consult the people living in La. You see, we are stakeholders of the place. We should be told what is going to happen. We saw something happening in Ridge Hospital. Honestly speaking, what happens there, all of us know. The structure is there. They build a new one. You see, they start working, renovating the other one. And that is how we progress in the third world country like Ghana. You understand? It is not a place whereby you are building a village. This is a town that people live in. There are community here. You understand? So when you are moving it from here, you should know what is the implications. Some of us, it was a deliberate thing. But honestly speaking, we have no doubt that when we are citizens and we keep on talking, the government will come back to its own mind, because we thought maybe they're having challenges. But what were you thinking by then? You see, the response sometimes they give us is too bad. Honestly speaking, telling us they are stirring the ground, they want to know the structures they are going to put in here and to see, because it's closer to the sea. You don't need to put this into contention before you come and promise us in 12 months, or you want to tell us something just like that for us to accept what is going to happen. This is our concern. You understand? We should be told. If you knew it's not coming, you will not be thinking about it. But when you are promised, this is where promise and faith can do.
Well, the health minister says that even though all those assessments are being done, once construction starts, it will be non-stop, and they'll make sure to complete it on time to hand over to the community.
It's all on top of issues, because he went to Parliament, the time he was vetting, he says that the construction is going on. You understand? So whatever he says is not true. He don't know anything about it. Honestly speaking,
he's the leader of the ministry. You're saying he doesn't know anything?
He doesn't know anything about construction. Maybe he knows how to give injections, but he doesn't know anything about construction. He can never say the construction is going on whilst it's not going on. You understand? He have lied to Ghanaians, and he have to come back to apologize. You understand? We living in La having a problem. It is not about the people living next door to the hospital. People come from far. You understand? So everybody is have an issue about this. We are concerned about what is happening here. There are people who live in Teshi. This is the place they normally come. They have their own special doctors here that takes care of them. You understand? People living in Osu comes here. We have people who live in Burma come here. We have people who live in Cantonment, Nungwa, and the subordinate. So many people normally comes here. The issue we face here, honestly, is severe. Nowadays, when something is happening, you don't know where to go. You keep on lamenting, where am I taking my kid? Where am I taking my mom? Where am I taking my family to? And that is a concern of real people.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, and we do hope that government is paying attention and will pay.
For you taking your time to come in here, we appreciate everybody. And we believe what we are doing here, our people living here, our leaders are listening and they are seeing what is going on. They don't wake up and act. That's what we want. And we want the government to respond to our call. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. And by the way, I just wanted you to, thank you, sir. I mean, I've seen a few workers pushing a wheelbarrow to the other side. I see what looks to be an Asian man also, probably from the company. I don't know if they would want to speak to us. Hello, sir. Hello. Can we speak to you? Can we speak to you? Okay, so, all right. Thank you. Well, he says no. Maybe, of course, he will not be the one to speak to us. I was just trying my luck to see if we'll be able to. I have a few people who are also lined up. Maybe we should cross the street. And these are our residents, by the way. They're willing to speak to us. And initially, this street was strewn with traders who are selling all kinds of items, of course, to serve the community who would come here for some health care. I'm speaking to one of them. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, madam.
Please, what's your name?
My name is Mary Sidona, area mama.
Area mama. I can see from your haircuts that you are the area mama. How long have you been living in this community?
About 35 years ago.
35?
Yes.
So that means that you have been a constant user of the La General Hospital?
Yes, madam.
So how did you feel when they said they had to pull it down?
I'm not happy.
You can speak Guy if you want. Okay.
Ofane domi ake ameke abafe ye be kuku mi ameba jeshishi shi ake ni woli ake kaka noko agboneke ake abafitele sani ajeshishi blewu abon kumo blewu ni amabi e ka agbe na ake ka fe tonbo ni afe reach hospital ni mene wo fe wo na ye Ghana shi ne ateshishi komekeke na akumo ashweshi kabata bia no almost 5 years wa anane afe konuko ye
5 years. 5 years, 2 years. Why na she no ne wana kumo akashi abafe assessments na akashi cracks e bachujiami e wale no kenye je ne kumo kehwe nyonyo no hu ba face sane no jino ne wona
ofane bonu oyu olele na kan shi aka ni e shika besh komi mi hion ya ka je akumo ni clark ekwen na asa ka je ka cha no ken ya bi atono lele wo meni wo ojira ya bi e polyclinic efe wonye wo wojira wo nukunuku ya no wo mami meta shi homo njia me nukunuku kure ya no ka moko be wales ja okale wo tazimi kete police hospital reach hospital ni la polyclinic 2 bedroom self contained urgent no jila polyclinic na kan hawo e wo be mi share bi ene kura.
So what she's saying is that should have preferred if the same process used in completing the Greater Accra Regional Hospital was replicated here, such that they would pull down some of the structures and leave a few of them so that they can use that for the time being until the new one is constructed. Then they can move into that and have this constructed, because it's affected the traders, it's affected community members, and you have to put them in a taxi and travel all the way to the police hospital or to all the other hospitals, Greater Accra, just to seek treatment. Okay, no me honey be.
No me mami ba honey be. Okay, unit committee member Jimmy area name. She because of that, okay, me te she ka me ban le no ni maka me. Dan na me bi me she ake teni bi ya no ten. She kabata bi ane won yue won MP here won assemblyman e she won na no ko na nyami. Won na no ko.
Me na Kenya ake e delay construction e. Ben ye sha aka Kenya ba wi.
Ake aba cat sort ye bi e wo fen wo ba domochi na cat sort na ka ba je nu chumo shishi. Ni ile ake shika ni ake ba mo shika ni efe ko ready. No ha na aba je ko nu chumo shishi. Won yue e ko pore ncha yue ye MP ko me yue ake agbe na ehwefi o na ba agbe na. Ni lele no ko be shipon no. Bi na ehwefi o ba atwa ball e pa ke no.
Abo ncha omomo.
Abo ba je shishi me organize na ba na ba atwa ye je.
Ni ba allock gate onyo organize be a government property sanama hospital.
Ba mi won pa Bible fai boni akenye ba domoshi menene nye yu aye nye ha wo she nya wo ye mbe ka chumi wonye wo kama ya eko no fia no yin kura ye bie o fane o you are done
won sole hu akehia ba fe no koye. And so she's just basically saying that her mother used to trade here, and there were lots of traders along the street who were serving the hospital staff and people who visited the hospital. Unfortunately, they all had to, stop trading because people weren't coming here anymore, clearly because there's no hospital. And now they're stuck in their rooms hungry and looking for another means to survive. Now, they've been transferred to another clinic in the Lamami, and that's the township itself. And she's saying that that's just a 2-bedroom facility, which cannot serve the thousands of people who live in this community and the other communities who usually would visit this place. So it's a major problem. And in fact, a government does not do anything about this and does not start action. She's going to organize, because she's a unit committee member. She'll organize for the boys to start playing football on the park, just to show how serious they are about the situation. So I have my namesake here, Grandma Isabella. If I could just get a chair, please, so I can sit by her. Grandma, Afi or Afi?
Afi na pro. Afi sebe nene. Intashi ne kono no ba ne nami. Ninyo ma awo no gojo e ba yi. Kone e hano no fe no aya no.
Amen. Grandma, oh him be a chewa in sure.
Yeah, be a che.
How many years ne?
Oh, I'm 78. Ne, she before ni. Wa papa ne ba 2021 me na ba. Como
2020 March.
Yes. March me ne abana ba como ne o na ba kwe na ba e ba cat de ke ni fie no. Because within 14 days I start building. She up to now na ko improvement ko kura ye bi. Ne na ne Beni hospital machine no mi wo na ni wo ho ni wo na no ko wo yo. She up to now ne na je no fe basa e ha wo.
No me no ho.
In fair provisions shop yes store okay. Ewo ka bia na ni gbele o ba na ke show. Je no ko kura ben ta se ni ke ho aso tabia.
Many here many ba hospital.
Hospital ka ba many admit amekeni. Eko ye ni aba ne be wo ho no ke back se hu. Ewo ka ba nya he for back ke ya. Come on for aba nakano eko na ka ba ju agbekele no eko no aba fi. Me ni hu na me ho ke provisions. Ewo aba ka tamrike. Ata mi lo ke ni fe ko ya si bi onele. And oh yes.
I mean, let me just translate what she said. And this is Grandma Isabella, by the way. She's above 70 years, and she said she's lived here for many years. And in fact, in 2020, when the structure was pulled down and the sod was cut, she said they were promised that within 14 days, construction will begin. And 14 days passed, and nothing really happened. Now, she used to sell provisions. She had a store here, and she was serving the people who were, visiting the hospital. Unfortunately, all that has gone down the drain because she cannot sell them anymore. She does not have the buyers. And so it's been a major problem for her. She onua ke no ni he wona a kumo building na je ake she no me cracks ko eba mi e wa ka kanye teje ma le no ona ka no me nuhu ya twugin ya me ale no ke no ko baba bia ne
no na kan time me je ni ke efe e crack mo na me fi she ken eni bi die ma na me yue wole aka ke ne ken she je ni no ko hu ba ona ne wo bo ni fa bi me pi wi aka o ka hin no ba ma ha ba fe ye bi le bi de ye fine e wo ko
ya bi na ka
ya bi wa ya bi
wo no me no ko ba bi kra no ba ma ha na ma
ba ma ha ba ma ona bene ba e ba kra na ba fe foundation ke no fe no na ba fe no fe na ma ne e wo na kan time e tuma ye fine e wo be na kumo ne me e no ji last one dana kumo e wo me necessary people you are ko kanye ahani jame aka ha me ko na me ke kwa patient feel ka shi bini aba kumo na tapo shi ame apene
Well, what she's saying is that a few years ago, when former President of the United States, Barack Obama, visited Ghana, he visited this facility. She was here, she met him, and he provided some amount of money to construct, a part of the building. And so that was fairly new, and she would have thought that government would have maintained that structure. So they visit the doctors and the nurses there in the meantime while the other structure is constructed. But none of that happened. It will be no
Ke wote police hospital abia ke ingbe uje koko je area name abake bo akesin mini haninya ha kuma akwa bo baba refer bo ke ya ikokro hospital well the reason why
okay ojela akwa bo
ona abake wo ke la polyclinic side there wo aje amekwe
na me hospital ne
police hospital ona
but then chote je me na me fe
no wote ko na kana bile ni yo inside ni hone no me be yo wale wa wote ameka amekwe wo pa me fo ke no ni fi ogbeke na wo nyenta na egbo nka papa wo wi ahun dani mo ni fi o card ya na doctor ko mi ne eke o ne emergency no ko wo ke won pafa dana ahanu wote ntepo mi ntashi ye che no ne kenken bile na bile mami wete Africa de ne kano na ba na kwele kano na ake drip ni ne mashi chwe na hale drip ni kumbuke kano wana sa jeme we crowded ona ni ya hunto ona.
All right. Anyway, so what she's saying is that they also face some challenges when they visit other facilities, especially when they ask where they are from. Her grandchild had to go to the police hospital for treatment, and for some reason they said they could not treat the child until they begged, and so she had to carry her child whilst the drip was being administered, and so that's a major problem for them. It will be an amekame ba boy ameboy nani me komenchuni ye jeme na brofo nyokomeke medijin komeni amenchi will ba
sister na kana aba Chinese bi ne ba bi no ba na ba ke boni no kaka no ati ake me ko me hunke be ja ke shike wa me de dade ame ba bon wo le no ni me na me ye je me aba ne ke no na me ya.
Well, she says that, I mean, she's heard a number of reasons why they've not started the construction. And so she's waiting to see, I mean, how this goes. She, in the meantime, I mean, no back, woman, President Akufo-Addo, ke health minister, ke minister na me chunu chumone.
Bia na ne ye mi wa ono wa bote ne wota je sani ke je week ne mi akwakọ na babon chun ma shi won pin na na me ne ntase ne na mo hin on ya dùn mo ko ni ma ke ho mo ye mi wa ha miska da ne ba ko le bo gbo bi na obi ba ba ha mo da won ko le ne yin bi ne fe ya hun to e won to fa abako na ba je na bon ni chun ma ka me ba ne ka me hin o ni bi ona no ke ni bi na wole oke ba se ko me ye ni ka ba aba pete ba si ni ka wo freezer mi ma me e wo every morning aba wo 2 afternoon wa me ba wo 2 ba ka shi be na ba fe ni na ta ka gbe na ba deposit ko da ni ni si no ne fe no ka wo na.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Grandma. And well, we hope that the
akacha na ba bomma.
Well, just a point of correction then. So that construction, by the way, wasn't by former President Barack Obama. It was by the former MP in the area, and that is Honorable Vincent Odote. So, but Grandma, thank you. You
are welcome.
Thank you. Well, we're still talking to more people, and I have a gentleman that I'll be speaking to now. Hello, sir. Good morning. Let's get off the road just in case a vehicle is approaching, so we don't. Yes. Happy New Year.
Many happy returns.
You live in this community too?
I was born here.
You were born here, so that means that you've seen the beginning. You're of the La General Hospital up until the time it was pulled down.
Sure.
I mean, how has this impacted this community since it was pulled down?
I think negative is too mild. Negative is too mild. I mean, the whole community is dead because of this demolition. Yes.
Why do you say dead? I mean, I still see people still doing their business, at least a few of them.
Look, when the hospital was here, like you have people who are selling food, taxi operators, I mean a whole lot. But all that is gone. Yes, all that is gone.
Don't you think it was a good idea that they pulled down the structure, especially because of the report's findings?
Well, you see, if a building has structural defects, I mean, engineers will always do something about it. Unless, of course, like you have funds available to build something quickly in record time. But once you don't have that kind of funds, I mean, you do what you can do to hold a building for some time. And also a hospital that is serving a whole community like this, you know, because once this thing is not here, pressure is on police hospital, because that's the closest government facility around here. Apart from that, then you have to go to the regional hospital at Ridge. So, I mean, we are really left in a limbo.
Well, a 68 million euro credit facility was being sourced from Standard Chartered Bank in the UK, which was going to be used to construct this building. But we're told by the health minister that the reason it delayed was because the company that's constructing needed an insurance cover, and the guarantor was delaying with that. And also, a lot more work was supposed to be done on the field before construction begins. That is why it delayed. He said this in Parliament in June last year.
And so, if all these things were not in place, why pull down the building? Because if you have to pull down the building, you have to provide an alternative for the people. So once all these things were not in place, I mean, why? It means that somebody was not planning, that somebody was not doing his job. I mean, it's just a kind of gimmick. You're toying with the people's lives. So just get up and then do whatever you want to do without consideration for the people, the impact on the people. Because you have to put everything in place. You know that, you move from one step to the other. But if all these things are not in place, then you have failed. Yes, you have failed completely.
I mean, they've said that they're going to start the construction soon, and once they hit the ground running, that's it, non-stop. We're going to see
2 years running. Now, let me tell you something. The building was pulled down before they even held a stakeholder meeting in the area.
Is it?
Yes.
But I thought they announced to the community members before March 1.
The building was pulled down before a community stakeholder meeting was held.
When was this stakeholder meeting held? Do you remember?
I can't remember the exact date, but the building was pulled down before then. Now, when the start cutting ceremony was held, you know, we saw these graphic impressions, you know, on the wall. Now, after that, then we saw some team around the yard doing soil testing and something like that. So I was like, if you are now doing soil testing, I mean, how did you design the building?
That's interesting. Now, this meeting that was held with the committee members, I'm sure you were there. Who from, governments were there to speak to you and to deliberate on this matter?
No, it was a handful of guys. One person said he was from the engineering firm that was going to do the construction and stuff. So they just wanted to know, how it was.
MC, no MP, none of those?
Nothing.
To at least explain to you why there was a need to
Nothing.
It's a new year. I mean, what do you say to governments? Because we're hoping that this will be constructed. We're told that this has now turned into a football park.
Government has the sole responsibility of providing health care for the people. And so if you have to pull down a facility like this, I mean, what message are you sending to the people? The people within the catchment area, if you have to pull down a facility like this, and 2 years on, nothing to show for it, what message are you telling the people? That they can die?
But government is investing in Agenda 111. They're hoping to build district hospitals and some regional hospitals.
Maybe the next time we'll hit Agenda 181.
Why do you say 181?
Because it was 88 and it's 111, so it will go to 181.
I mean, they have said that work has started in some cases and they're hoping to complete.
So why not this one? Is this not a priority?
Okay.
If this is not a priority, then, I mean, I don't see...
It is a priority.
It is not.
It is.
2 years. Priority project, 2 years. And, I mean, if you take a peep, what can you see in the yard?
Well, currently, I see some men on the field. I see a man in a construction cap. They refuse to talk to us, by the way. I don't know if they have informed the community about what they are doing currently, if you know what's happening.
You see, with the kind of... With the kind of design we have over there, I don't think that the men in there, it's what we need to do the job. Yes.
You don't think the men in there are what we need to do the job? Why do you say so?
By now, the level of activity should be more than what is happening there now.
But sir, are you an engineer?
I'm telling you that the level of activity should be more.
But I'm asking if you're an engineer because maybe they know what they're doing, which is why they have those number of men there at the moment.
The men should have been more. The activity level should have been more than what they are doing there now.
Have they told you what exactly they started with?
They don't need to tell them. They won't tell you anything. So they won't.
Have you tried questioning?
They will not speak to you.
Okay.
Because if they speak to you, I mean, their jobs is on the line. So they will not speak to you.
Okay.
I think you try to talk to them, and did they?
Yeah.
They will speak to you.
Let's get this right, because there was a building here that Grandma says, there was some money given by former President Barack Obama for. We're getting two sides of it as to whether it was Honorable Vincent Odote or it was Barack Obama. I need to, since you've been here for that long, just put that across for us. The correct fact.
Yeah, there was a facility built just around here.
Yeah.
And what we know was that when President Obama came to Ghana, he made some donation for the building to be constructed. And so that was done.
So prior to that, there was no building here?
There was no building here.
What was that purpose? What was the purpose of this building that was put up?
Well, I can't recall exactly what it was for.
But you were also accessing this healthcare facility?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
When it was a polyclinic and then was upgraded to the general hospital, some other departments, specialized departments were added, like gynae and then the morgue was added. So it was providing a whole lot of services around here. So, I mean, to just get up one day and it's like, the building has developed structural defects, and so you're going to pull it down. Sure, fine. If you want to do something new, we are happy. But then, 2 years on and nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, it was reported in Parliament that work was around 90% or something. You are taking us for a ride. Be serious for once.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us. Thank you. And the weather is changing. It looks like it's about to rain. But these are people who are very much concerned about the state of healthcare in their community. And they are asking government to be serious at this point for once and construct and complete this facility so they won't have to travel, kilometers away from the community to seek healthcare and be turned away, which is what Grandma also complained about. This is about the La General Hospital. And we've been told that construction should start this month. We've seen some men there. We're hoping that at least whatever delayed the beginning of the construction has been completed now and work has indeed started. We'll speak to government authorities as well to also apprise us on what they're doing at the moment to ensure that this comes to fruition. And who knows, we'll visit here again another time for some more. But this is TV3Newday. My name is Bert, and this has been our report from the La General Hospital. Back to you in the studio.